Hello everybody, Bubbles here and welcome back to HOI4. Now there are many things in this game that I just don't see the point of. Things such as the Soviet coup, non-aligned Greece and non-leanist France. But then again, in many cases I've never given these things the benefit of the doubt and tried them myself. So that's what we'll be doing in this new series. We'll be exploring any and everything in this game and try and answer the question of what's the point of this. So, let's lay down some new rules for this new series. 1. Roleplay games do not count as a reason. And yep, that's the only rule I could think of. Roleplay games are fine, but what I'm looking for is, why should I do this over something else? What does it give me, the player? So, the first one of these we're going to be doing is in Japan. Specifically, we are going to be doing Communist Japan, the unthinkable option, which was added in Waking the Tiger 4 years ago. So let's begin, shall we? So research slots, standard electronics industry and so on. Luckily we start with 4 research slots, so that's pretty nice. Obviously going to be creating an intelligence agency, always very useful, mostly for ciphers today. For our civs, it's going to be mill spam. For actual mills and dockyards, it's going to be gun and convoy spam. Japan starts with a good enough fleet, so we don't need to build all these extra ships. We'll also dump this carrier naval bomber, don't need to build any more. Anyway, for the 6 short divisions we start off with, well, let's break those up into some equal stacks. Funnily enough though, Japan actually starts with some marines, which I think makes him the only country to start with marines. Might be wrong on that. There you go, 3 little armies under 1 army group. And now let's get some more divisions by going over to Manchukuo and Mengukuo and taking their divisions. Don't need to be calling them in, so these 12 divisions can be on naval invasion defense. So we're just going to put them in Nagasaki and Tokyo. Don't expect to be naval invaded, but just in case, these divisions will be there and give us some time. Anyway, next step, we're going to go over to Germany and ask for an alliance. Oh, do you know they said yes? So what are we going to do with that? Well, we're going to send the main army, all 60 divisions, over to Germany. And the same with the navy, actually, so let's gather it all up. There, all 18 fleets. Go over to Wilhelmshaven. Now, let's not forget, though, the Air Force, something that's very useful at all times. Let's just assign it to the first general. And that is all of our prep out the way. So, let's go to speed 5 and begin Communist Japan. As you may or may not have noticed, we didn't actually start off by doing a focus. Why? Because we need to get a justification going as soon as possible. So let's go over to France and justify on them. Luckily with militarism we can get a slightly faster justification, and since we have 40 political power, there we go. There we go, 11 political power, more than enough. We are going to be working our way down to supremacy of will. Pretty nice national spirit, I especially like the division recovery rate. The fun fact, Japan actually starts on Grand Battle Plan as its land doctrine. That means we get probably the best spirit of the academy, theatre training. Why not? So, how are we going to defeat France? As you probably figured out, we're going to have to naval invade them. So we're going to have to hit ports of probably Le Havre and Dieppe and support naval invasions around that. So let's do that. Due to the naval invasion changes, France is actually relatively good at defending its ports, so we're going to really stack our naval invasions. We're going to have 4 units go to Le Havre and 4 to Dieppe, and 1 on the support on each side. Not the best, but it should do. So including the 1 Marines, there's the first one. There's the second. And here come the little supports. Should be enough for us to get at least 1 port, rush the rest of the army in and take down France without too much problem. They still have disjointed government after all. Anyway, with our first 150 political power, we don't actually need much political power today, but it's always good to go for a silent workhorse, isn't it? And justification is ready. So we've got a few little things to do first. First thing, the Air Force is going to be in naval strike over the eastern North Sea. France tends to have quite a few subs there, and the last thing we wanted to get stopped. Second, of course, going to need the Navy in strike force in the sea zones, English Channel and North Sea. That's all our prep. We could wait a little bit longer for supremacy of will, but nah, let's go. Definitely going to have to make good use of force attack, but that should be alright. Unsurprisingly, France is defending, so force attack. Well, we even got an ace because of that. Good, Dieppe fell. Now we'll send for the rest of the army. And that's why we had to completely stack a port for once, instead of what we usually do, which is spread out. Need to make sure though we don't get pushed back into the sea though. So probably going to have to cut off Rowan, support our means, and be very helpful in the Havre. Oh, what do you know, we did get supremacy of will. What should we do now? Oh, why not? Everyone's favourite bicycle battalions. But we did make landfall, which is usually good enough. Admittedly, we have completely overstacked the width, but oh well, don't really have much of a choice. There we go, begin to break out, and we'll be able to grab more tiles. Are we going to get Paris for free? Wow, that's a surprise, didn't expect that. That isn't the end of France though, is it? No. But damn close. Damn close. And that's the end of France. Very good, that went very well. We're just going to annex them. 72 states, free France was annexed, and we seized a lot of equipment. So, what's next? We're going to go for the United Kingdom. So, British Malaya, conquer, North Borneo, let's go. We're going to be doing a similar strategy to one that we did in a recent France video, where we managed to annex the entire UK and all of its dominions in one war. So let's do that prep now. So one unit will naval invade Canada from Saint-Pierre-Maquillon. One unit will naval invade South Africa from the Congo. One unit will fight and probably be destroyed in British Raj. One unit will naval invade British Malaya, something like that. And one unit will go to Tasmania, and one unit will go to North Ireland. As long as they get a little bit damaged or take a little bit of territory, they will be in the peace deal and we get them all for free. And there, we can also assign the Air Force back to under a general. Just that those submarines are so annoying. But hey, we managed to get 2 aces out of that, the Dragon and Lightning. We're also going to have to send some ships to help these naval invasions, so let's grab a few subs and send them over. 1 for each naval invasion. Now yes, we could have done something to like get France guaranteed so they would have been in the Allies, but that would have mean we would have to have chased the Allies all over the world. To Canada, to South Africa, to Australia. I'm sure many of you have had games like that where the Allies just guarantee everyone, so nah, let's get France done in 1 war and we'll get the Allies done in 1 war too. For focus now, there isn't really that much we need to do, so... And there are things like new naval estimates, fighter modernisation. So now let's go over the plan of how we're going to defeat the UK. First, we're going to unassign these other naval invasion units, so we have as many units as we can to naval invade. Second, it's just going to be the standard UK naval invasion. 5 naval invasions to support an invasion around Newcastle and Hull. But yeah, something like this will do. Once these naval invasions have left, we'll delete the orders and assign units to these other naval invasions for the Dominions. And there you go, just in case your British Malaya is ready. We're in strike force in the North Sea and Eastern North Sea, let's go. But also take the speed down a little bit. Right, British Malaya? It's time. And good, we left port immediately, so now let's assign the other naval invasions and go. Don't forget to have your little backup navy in strike force in these sea zones for these invasions as well. And there they all go too. Really, it's just a question of how much has the UK AI stacked the British Isles. Let's go. Okay, they did defend Hull, but that's alright. And Newcastle is completely undefended. So we'll encircle Hull and go around it. Something like this. But since we've also made landfall in Newcastle, we can summon the rest of the army and probably just run down the UK in a heartbeat. We have access to cheap war goals. You know what? Why not? And there we go. Hull also fell, so unlike France, we did manage to secure both ports. And London is completely undefended. Wow. Good, we're going to nav Dover and a little encirclement. UK is already pretty much done. Oh, what do you know they are? And yep, worked perfectly. We can just annex all of them. And that's what we're going to do. We're not even going to puppet the UK because our navy is more than good enough. We don't need to take theirs. And there they go. We took 137 states and seized, again, a lot of equipment. And worked good for us. We managed to nab some cheap war goals. We're going to go after the Benelux as well. The main reason for the Benelux, though, is unsurprisingly for the Dutch East Indies. So we'll have one little naval invasion to go into something like here, and that should be able for us to annex them. But for the 9 units that can naval invade, well, it's going to be a normal invasion of the Netherlands, going for Rotterdam and Amsterdam. I have summoned the 12 units we used to defend Japan just to walk it into the Dutch East Indies. May or not be useful, but why not? You can always send them back. There we go, something like that should do. We'll put the navy on strike just in the English Channel now because we actually control it, and let's go. Well, at least this time we actually have good divisions to actually invade Rotterdam, unlike Crusader Kings 2. Gotta be careful. The last thing we need is to not take the Dutch East Indies. Whoa, the naval invasion hasn't even gone yet, so I should probably wait. Have we made landfall in the Dutch East Indies? Yes, we have, so they should be in the peace deal now. But knowing my luck, they'll somehow not be in the peace deal, just like Raj last time. Oh, no, we were fine. Good, we'll just annex them both. All the extra resources. Another 13 states. Right, now we'll go after Belgium. One army in the north, one army in the south. That should be enough. Let's go. Belgium is now an encirclement of an encirclement. And that's that for them. And we have one more justification going. Should be done any second now. Oh, yes it is. So let's immediately use it. Sorry, Luxembourg. And there you go. Managed to get the Benelux for free with some cheap war goals. Very, very good. And now it's time for probably our hardest opponent. The United States. Even now though, the last thing we want them is to be directly aware we're coming after them. So we're going to justify on Panama. 100 days and we'll go after them. This means that the US will be called in instead of being able to see that we're justifying on them. Right now the US is still extraordinarily weak. But what we are going to do is try and get a full army group of 120 divisions. That will totally ensure their destruction. There you go, we even have 24 units ready, so we'll deploy them. We still need 37 divisions though, so let's train up a few more. Yeah, that's the cost of making such expensive divisions, by the way. You know what, since these divisions are so big, let's go for some smaller templates. Probably something like this instead of, you know, that. Yeah, we could just about afford 37 colonial templates, but hey, they're mostly good for filling the line, aren't they? And instead of a 100-day deficit, it's actually 24 days, which is good enough. We're going to have a lot of garrisons because we just conquered so much. But at least this saves us having to do the classic strategy of having to invade the US from Curacao. That can be quite annoying, especially nowadays with, again, the naval invasion changes. The AI will stack ports like Block C, Mobile, New Orleans. These units will have a very fun job. They'll be on the Vancouver side of the border and try to head south towards Los Angeles and San Diego. But even then, because it's so mountainous and stuff, it wouldn't surprise me if these units, like near Detroit and Buffalo, managed to make it there first. But oh well, last thing we need is the border to be undefended. Right, from long lance torpedoes onwards now, we're just going to be saving political power. And there you go, between these two army groups, that should be around 120 units. Really should not be stacking Detroit like this, but whatever, it'll be fine. Really, really bad time to be doing the Neutrality Act, America. Well, everyone's almost in position, let's just wait for these 5 extra units. They'll do. How many units does the US even have? No more than 54. That's great, let's go. Even have the US's cipher ready to break, let's do that, and let's go get them. As usual in an invasion of the US like this, encirclements are your friend, we're going to make damn good use of them. Even managed to encircle Detroit. And another good encirclement there as well. And the US has made a faction. With who? Itself. Oh, I forgot actually, didn't I? We can naval invade the Philippines if we wanted to. Alright, we'll try and do that. We'll have one little unit try and naval invade the Philippines so we can directly annex them. Again, it doesn't really matter, but you know what, I'm curious. I guess I better send the fleet over just in case. Anyway, the US is already pretty much in complete collapse. Well, it's a race now. Can the 108th Division or the 108th Cavalry make it to Los Angeles first? How did both the 108th? Oh, we got another competitor as well, the 66th. Oh no, the 62nd got pinned, never mind. Oh, it looks like the infantry is going to make it first, but the cavalry was only a few days away. Wow, only 4 days out. Damn close considering where they started. But the US is already pretty much done. Very good casualties as well, we only took 66k. And that's that for the US and the Philippines. If we'd bothered to naval invade Panama, we would have gotten them as well, but whatever. Getting these two were the main prize. And just like everyone else, directly annexed. We're now assuming direct control. Another 60 states. Alright, let's gather up everyone and send them back to Japan. Right, to go back to the original point of this video, that is Communist Japan, our next step is actually to annex Manchukuo. So let's send them a load of convoys. I don't know, will 2200 do? Yep, that should do, right? We need 1500 points. Good. So why is it important to annex Manchukuo before we flip? Well, it's quite simple. Once we do flip, if Manchukuo still exists, half the fleet will go to them. And this is especially annoying today because Manchukuo has already done a mission to Germany. I've sometimes seen it when it happens that Manchukuo does get guaranteed by Germany, and so we wish to avoid that. So the easiest way to keep our fleet and not end up at war with Germany over Manchukuo, we're just going to annex them. We're also annexing Manchukuo because why not? We have the convoys for it. Right, let's annex Manchukuo. Do the unthinkable option. And do the same to Manchukuo. 2200. This is the main reason we've been saving political power this whole time. Right, let's hire ourselves that communist demagogue. Whoops, accidentally hired the wrong guy. Oh well, we can always hold focus and just get another one. Luckily, we already had quite a bit of political power. I was looking at the wrong demagogue for some reason. I was looking at the fascist one. There we go. Let's hire the actual communist revolutionary and continue down. Funnily enough, despite Manchukuo no longer existing, we can still do exchange to the exiles. Don't know who we're going to be handing over these guys to now, but you know, still will happen apparently. There's nothing in the game that actually forces us to hire ourselves the communist revolutionary, but it is actually quite useful because, you know, party popularity does give stability. I'd like to imagine we exchange these exiles for no one and we just put them in the cell with Puyi or something. Anyway, let's approach the young officers. Hey, we may have lost our main field marshal, but I think this guy is even better. Look at that. Now that is a interesting trait to say the least. We have no field marshal right now, so does that mean if we promote Toshio to field marshal, we'll keep him? I mean, it should be. Normally field marshals, if you only have one, will stick with you, the rebeller. This can be an interesting little experiment. Anyway, the time is now. Let us cast the die. Just a normal mages list. Nothing to see here, folks. Right, now it's time for the classic win a civil war by any means strat. Division designer, create empty. Infantry battalions, artillery, saved, and change all units over to that. Normally I'd send all of my equipment over so it wouldn't get split 50-50, but there's actually no one at war right now, so there's nothing we can do about that today. One more thing that we must do is leave the Axis. Last thing we need is extra nonsense, have a worldwide civil war. The die is cast. Pretty good. So did we keep that field marshal as I wanted? No. Oh well. I guess Hitoshi will be our guy. Oh, he's alright. Offensive. Charismatic. Organization first. These are the generals you start with as Communist Japan. If you're going to farm any of them, choose one of these guys. Funnily enough, we actually had a communist sympathizer before this, and now he's gone. He ironically sided with Hirohito. Communist sympathizer in what universe? I don't know. Right, we'll just change all of these units over to cavalry and split them up a little bit. These 21 will go down to Nagasaki as it's a big victory point, but the rest of them will focus on Tokyo because again, big victory point. 38 divisions, that should be more than enough. And also you get these funny little units. Very weird, you can't actually disband these units at all, but let's go anyway. And we've walked our way into Tokyo, and yep, we have to go down to Nagasaki. Great, just one unit is enough to stop us in this nonsense. Oh well, we'll just stack the tile until it's gone. And there's nothing at all to be done about that. The Japanese People's Republic is victorious. Right, next step up for us, we are going to be doing the fate of the Imperial family. Which should be interesting as this event usually involves Manchukuo, because you can exile them there. So what's going to happen now that Manchukuo doesn't exist? Let's replace our compassionate gentleman with the Prince of Terror. That should give us some more manpower. Wow, that just gave us a lot. From 1.5 million to 1.8 almost. And now it's time for the fate of the Imperial family. Oh dear. Well, there's no Manchukuo to exile them this time, so gonna have to take the stability hit. I clearly said 10, but we only lost 1. Yes, the next thing after that would be something like the re-education campaign. But here is where we're actually going to stop this. I think I've gotten to the point where I want to finish. Because, as far as I see it, there is no point in doing Communist Japan. Okay, let's see what we actually get for doing this. Okay, we get 2% recruitable population from Red Brigade. That's alright, but we already have so much manpower already. We can nationalise the Saibatsus, which is... okay, minus 5% consumer goods. Okay. But then again, Japan also has total mobilization for free in its other focus tree. Oh, you get Asian Communist Solidarity? Oh, you get Mao. That's it. As far as I see it, there really isn't a reason why you should go communist as Japan. You don't really get that much, and that's a shame. There's clearly plenty of potential in this focus tree that should be explored again and maybe improved. So you know what? Let's go over some little ideas I have on how to improve this focus tree. The main thing that needs to be changed in my opinion is Asian communist solidarity. There's plenty of things relating to it that could be added into the game. So for one, you could do an operation with Mao that gets all the warlords to join him. Another one that weakens Chiang Kai-shek that makes it easier for you and Mao to go after him. There should also be something around ending Asian colonialism, so something to like liberate the Dutch East Indies, British Malaya, Indochina, the Philippines, Micronesia. You get the idea. There should be something about Asian communist solidarity. We'll liberate ourselves. You get the idea. But you know, if you have any ideas on how to improve this focus, do let me know. I am interested. But yeah, we'll be finishing here. I know I actually didn't play that much of Communist Japan today, but that's kind of what I was going for, just to show how much we could do before we even flipped our ideology. But as I said though, this is probably going to be the first episode in a new series on this channel where we do explore anything in this game that makes you ask what's the point. So if you know of anything in this game that makes you ask this question, do let me know, and if it's a good enough thing, it'll probably be featured in a future video. So, until next time everybody, this has been me, Bubble Zest, playing as Communist Japan. I thank you for watching, I do hope you've enjoyed it, but until we meet again, goodbye.